Sorry about that, guys. My mom called. I had to answer it. Anyway, my husband is very supportive, very loving. He never gets mad about things or screams at me about things. He tries his best to be there for me. As soon as he found out that I had dissociative identity disorder, he started doing research, and so he probably knows more about it than I do. Um, which I've also researched it plenty, but I've been going through it for my whole life, and I've been going through therapy now for 9 years with the same psychologist, and he's awesome. He helps me out very much, very much. He's the only psychologist around here that believes in D.I.D. A lot of people don't. It's very controversial. It's very confusing. A lot of people just don't know how to take it. But I have 7 alters, including myself. April is 5. Sam is 7. Abby is 10. Angerly is 11. Allie's 21. Lisa's 28. And Jenna's 35. They're all there for a reason. They were all born at that age because of a traumatic experience that I went through. That's how they're born. And it's kind of like having sisters, you know. We talk to each other, which I know that sounds really really stupid, but we have conversations in my head. Like they put in their opinion on what I'm wearing, or how I'm fixing my hair, or how I'm doing my makeup, or what we're going to watch on TV. I mean, we're a team. We work together. And April loves to color, so I try to sit down, and let her color whenever she wants to. She and a couple of the others love chocolate. So all they have to do is look at Billy and say, please. And he runs and gets it for them, which is not good for my diet, but I don't really eat anything else, so that's okay. I try to spoil them because they were there for me my whole entire life. Well, from the age of 5. They helped me develop a semi-normal childhood, which if I had not had been able to create them, my life would be turmoil right now. I don't know where I would be, what I would be doing. There's no telling. Let's see, what else did I want to go over? D.I.D is when you have a traumatic experience. It comes from childhood sexual abuse most of the time. If it's diagnosed in someone older, it's usually PTSD. But dissociative identity disorder is when you go through a traumatic experience. Like at 5, I was raped at 5. And that was when April was born. And she took care of all that for me. It was like I didn't have to endure any of that pain. She took all that pain for me. And it's really hard to understand and really hard to explain. I'm trying my best. But I'm trying to remember what I put on my first video. This is my 3rd video, by the way, because my son keeps coming out and interrupting me. So, I think I went over, let's see, if you have trouble remembering things, that is a big sign. Like any big things, little things, if somebody comes up to you and says, you got drunk and danced on a table and you don't remember that. It could be something that big, or it could be something small. And another cool thing about my altars is they help me find things. Like if I lose my keys or some makeup or clothes, if there's something I can't find, all I have to do is ask them to help me, and they help me find it. And they're really awesome like that. But there's also time loss. If you have loss of time, and that could be anywhere from a minute to an hour to a whole day, that you just, it just skipped you. You didn't even, like, that day didn't even happen. And you're like, where'd that whole day go? What was I doing that whole day? That's another big sign that you have D.I.D. I don't have that happen as much now because I'm pretty much integrated with my altars, which means, you know, we talk, like I said, we talk to each other. In the beginning, it was nothing like that. They would only talk to Dr. K, and most of the time they would only write him letters to tell, you know, whatever they wanted to tell him. Allie talks to him a lot because she's a talker. Abby talks to him a lot. The littles, they don't really talk to him. They write letters. And Lisa's experience was so traumatic that she still has trouble breathing, so she doesn't really talk. And Jenna, we're still getting there with her. Right after the situation happened where she was born, my grandmother was dying when it happened, and I had so much chaos and stuff going on. I wasn't able to go see my psychiatrist, my psychologist, and things really got out of hand, like really bad. But I started to see him again back in, I don't know, it was 4 or 5 months ago, and you know, things are getting better. Everything's great right now, you know. I still have a lot to tell. Some of it good stuff, some of it not so good, some of it horrible. But I will do my best to get this out there for somebody that may think they have D.I.D. or knows something's wrong with them, but they don't know what it is. Maybe your spouse, you know, acts funny and you don't know why. It could be D.I.D. It could be, you know, a family member, a friend. Just if you notice any of those little things, you know, just make sure you say something, because that could potentially help them. I didn't find out that I had dissociative identity disorder until I was 38 years old. So I missed so much time that I could have had that was good time, because I didn't know, because I didn't have all the facts, because I didn't know what D.I.D. was. I didn't know, you know, I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. My husband knew there was something wrong with me, but he didn't know what it was. Deep down, I knew something was wrong with me too. I just didn't, and I knew I was different. I've always been different since I was a child. I can remember that. Also, not remembering your childhood. If you think back and you can't really remember your childhood, like anything, like except for a few little snippets, that's another sign that you may have D.I.D. Because when you have D.I.D. and you start seeing a psychologist, the bad memories begin to come back so that you can remember them, and that's how you heal yourself from that tragic experience. And that's how the altars get free, because they're still holding that pain. They're still holding all that pain and anger that was put into them when they were born. And we're getting there, though. We're slowly but surely, we're getting there. I may need to see him for another 5 years. I may need to see him for another 5 months. I don't know. But I will continue with these videos and explain more about it as I go. And if anybody has any questions in the meantime, just let me know. See you later, guys.